Hello lovers of natural history, Bob Ellis here with another episode of Notes from the Field. And today we're down here on the Santa Maria River. That's outside of the Mogollon Highlands. But I wanted to share with you today a notion that comes to us from the world of ecology that I think will inform your natural history practice. And that is to think about those factors that shape the landscape in a way that is more powerful than any other factors, and those are what we call the abiotic factors. And abiotic simply means non-living. And so whenever I think of these abiotic factors, I think of three different factors. The first one being temperature, the second one being moisture or precipitation, and then the third, nutrients. I'd like to focus on those first two at the very beginning here, just because I think they are extremely powerful, and they in effect, paint the landscape. They are, I like to think, in charge. And maybe one of the best examples of this, and I've heard this is true, it's never happened to me because I've never been to a fancy restaurant, but evidently there are restaurants you can go into, and if you don't pass a dress code, they won't allow you to eat there. So I have experienced another example, and that is, have you ever been to a nightclub and there's a bouncer at the door, and they say, "Yo, look, you are not dressed well enough to come into this nightclub. Go someplace else." Well, that's exactly what temperature and moisture are doing. I call them the master abiotic factors. Temperature, as the bouncer at the door of life out here in the Sonoran Desert, is obviously a significant factor. And that's why I like to come out here and talk about the abiotic factors, because life is stripped bare. And if an organism cannot make it through the temperature regime out here, it is not getting in the door of life. And so we have multiple examples around us. And obviously the biggest, most prominent, and iconic for the Sonoran Desert is the saguaro, Carnegie gigantea. Temperature has tightly described where saguaros can live. If the air temperature goes below 32 degrees for more than 36 hours, saguaros are not getting in the door. So everywhere where you see a saguaro, you can almost be certain that the air temperature never gets below 32 degrees for 36 hours. All right, let's talk a little bit about moisture as a bouncer at the door of life. On that slope behind me, you can see that a canyon runs down the slope into the Santa Maria River. On the left side of that slope, you'll see that there are quite a few saguaros and palo verdes. On the right side of that canyon, you'll notice that there are no palo verdes or saguaros. And if you were able to zoom in there, you would see a species called Kenosha. And that plant is more suited to the moist, cooler conditions found on that north-facing slope. And so this is a notion of aspect. On the left-hand side, we have a south-facing aspect, which is hotter and drier. And then on the right side, we have a north-facing slope that is cooler and has more moisture as a result of that. The sun doesn't strike that slope, and so therefore soil moisture is higher, selecting for a whole different slice of life out here. And so the big idea here is finding these patterns and tying them to a big idea like temperature and moisture as the master abiotic factors informs your practice of natural history. You know, I really enjoy doing these videos, and I'm interested in what you folks are thinking. You know, there's an opportunity down in the comment section for you to make observations of your own. You know, today we talked quite a bit about the ways that these big ideas, big concepts like the master abiotic factors shaping landscape can affect or influence your natural history observations. Here at the Natural History Institute, we are very curious about what you are seeing whenever you take an idea like this. So that comment section down there, I would really enjoy seeing what you folks are seeing whenever you take these big ideas out into the places you love and see if they help, or maybe there's contradictory information, which would be great to see as well. And then while you're down there making that comment, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way we'll know that we're doing some good work here, and we can keep these videos coming your way. Oh my gosh, you won't believe. We're driving along, and James says to me, James, our collection manager, who's also shooting this video, says to me, "Stop the car! The bouncer's in the house!" I swerved, man. I swear to God we're going to die. And he said, "Look, look!" And I said, oh my word. And if you look to my right, to the left of the screen, look at that slope. Almost pure prickly pears, opuntia, south-facing slope. Now cross the road and look to the right. Same area, but look at all the chaparral species. Yeah, he was right. The bouncer's in the house.